Welcome into Locked On Phillies. The Phils beat the Reds in what will become known far and wide as the Edmundo Sosa game. We'll recap it and talk about Game 2 tonight on today's Locked On Phillies.
You are Locked On Phillies, your daily Philadelphia Phillies podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Yes, this is Locked On Phillies. I'm your host, Connor Thomas. Been talking Phillies baseball for years on 97.5 The Fanatic. Now happy to be here with you as your host of Locked On Phillies. I want to thank you for making Locked On Phillies your first listen every day. We're free and available wherever you get your podcasts. And the Phils, well, they're off the schneid as far as getting shut out. They beat the Cincinnati Reds 4-3 last night up in Cincinnati. It wasn't the prettiest game. There were some issues we will discuss, but they come out with a win. They fight through, and they get another close win. They score 4 runs, which is nice. It's more than they scored. It's double their total run output in their entire series against the New York Mets. And, yeah, some stuff went their way last night. We'll jump into breaking it all down, and then we'll also have the preview of tomorrow's game. But let's start with the scoring plays because Noah Syndergaard, he was rough early. He made it through the first inning fine. And then in the second inning, I don't even know what to say about the second inning. A couple guys on the bases, and Noah Syndergaard had the opportunity to face the 9-hole hitter for the Cincinnati Reds, bottom of the order, and you're looking at a guy that should have no chance to hit you at all. You should be able to dominate. Papierski, however you say this guy's name. He was cut by the Giants. He was picked up on waivers, and the Reds are just using guys to fill roster spots. He's batting a total of, well, now he's batting 136. He was batting like 168 or something yesterday, but that's a guy that should never get a hit. Unless you're the Philadelphia Phillies and Noah Syndergaard in the second inning yesterday, in which he had a 2 RBI single to make it 2-0 in the bottom of the second. So that's an issue right there. But then at the top of the third, well, the Phillies have done what they've been doing so consistently lately. You give up a run in an inning, the very next frame, you answer back. That's what good teams do. The top of the third, Nick Castellanos singled to left, scoring Alec Bohm, moving JT Realmuto up to third. Now, Bryson Stott had a base running error in this inning where a ground ball hit directly to the shortstop. He tried to advance from second to third, and he got thrown out at third base. It was awful base running. And you know what? Bryson Stott, it's something he's going to have to work on, and something that is kind of trademark for his type of player. When I say his type of player, I mean he plays the game with a very similar mentality to Bryce Harper. That's a great thing in 99% of the aspects of baseball. When it comes to base running, it means it could be a little bit over aggressive. We see it with Bryce every once in a while, and we saw it with Bryson Stott last night. He'll have to get better at that, but he is a rookie. Bryce Harper is a multi-year veteran with 2 MVPs under his belt. So time for Stott to develop. It was not good in the vacuum of last night's game, though. He'll have to be better. No matter, Nick Castellanos picks him up with an RBI single to left. And then with runners on second and third, Edmundo Sosa with 2 outs, singles to left. Nick Castellanos scores, JT Realmuto scores, and you've got a 3-2 lead in the top of the third. You immediately answer back. And those 3 runs would have been enough to settle in Noah Syndergaard for the rest of his time, at least to keep them tied, because Syndergaard was brutally efficient following that second inning. He ended up going 7 innings pitched, 3 earned runs, 6 strikeouts, no walks. Now, he gave up a good amount of hits in this one. We'll discuss more about his performance in a second. But in the top of the 5th, the Phillies needed an insurance run, and Edmundo Sosa was there to deliver it again. He doubled down the left field line, scoring Gene Segura, making it 4-2, and that was huge because Syndergaard, in the bottom of the 8th inning, he'd go back out there, and he would give up a home run to Jake Fraley, who was playing left field for the Cincinnati Reds in this one, making it a 4-3 game. and forcing the Phillies bullpen into action. But the good news, the Phillies bullpen was up for the task like they have been for the past 2 months, really. David Robertson went an inning pitched with only one hit given up, no runs, no worries there. Sir Anthony Dominguez, just a quick 1-2-3 bottom of the ninth to drop his ERA to 1.45 and get himself another save on the year. Great work by him. And for saves, it is his ninth on the season. It kind of feels like he would have more, but he also had a lot of high leverage, like 8th inning opportunities where he either got a hold or he kept the Phillies in position to come back potentially. So that was good stuff by Noah Syndergaard, David Robertson, Sir Anthony Dominguez on the mound. Syndergaard, who went 7 innings even, gave up 8 hits, which 8 hits, no walks though. Not a terrible whip, slightly over 1. You'll take that. He only threw 77 pitches, which is awesome. And for all the people saying, oh, Syndergaard probably could have finished this game. Yeah, I mean, he could have, but you got to remember, this is a guy that's been throwing mainly on long rest, meaning he's needed an extra day to get back out there compared to the average Major League Baseball starter this year, as he continues to recover from a Tommy John surgery that has turned him into a pitcher with diminished velocity, diminished movement. His stuff doesn't just look like it used to, and his control still isn't great. Like, I'm going to make an argument about why contact and why minimal pitch count isn't exactly the best thing in the world in all scenarios. That's going to be our final segment today. So stay tuned for that. That's not a Syndergaard conversation. That's more of a baseball theory conversation that I want to put out there for you. But bottom line is he got the job done. His ERA at 3.95 is not terrible, and that's a 5th starter. So you win on his days, they're bonuses. That's a good deal. And Mike Minor only went 5 innings pitched, gave up 4 earned. Could have been more than that if the Phillies were better. They left 11 runners on base in this one. But for all of the faults, it was a bounce back game. And now that you have the confidence of winning again, today should be a game with Kyle Gibson on the mound, and we'll preview that in the next segment. Well, this should be a day where you just absolutely run it up on the Cincinnati Reds. Talking through who really helped you out in this one. Bryson Stott was 3 for 5 in the leadoff spot. His average is up to 225 now. He clearly feels comfortable at the top of the order. That's great news for his future with this team, and it just shows how he continues to progress as a player. Like I said, he had those base running issues, but played solid in the field. He was great outside of those 2 base running decisions. The first one, actually, I didn't tell you about, was a soft chopper to shortstop in the first inning that he should have been moving from second to third on and didn't. Cost the Phillies a run. And then he cost the Phillies a run by being too aggressive on the other hand. So middle ground there. Read the situations better. He'll be fine. Hoskins was only 1 for 4, but he also walked. Alec Boehm was only 1 for 5. 2 strikeouts. So Boehm kind of slumping right now. JT Realmuto had a nice day. He was 2 for 4. Nick Castellanos was only 1 for 5, but hey, that one is an RBI single, so Nick Castellanos could work by him. Gene Segura was 1 for 4 with a walk. Edmundo Sosa, 2 for 4 with 3 RBIs. What a day for Sosa. The Phillies don't win this game without Eddie and what he did there. And Brandon Marsh was 1 for 4 with a nice balanced swing, shooting the ball the other way. It was kind of just a good piece of hitting, which even though it's only 1 hit for him, it's encouraging considering what Kevin Long and this hitting staff is looking to do with him since he came over from the Los Angeles Angels. He's only 24. Plenty of time to work with him and continue to improve his swing. But for the time being, 1 for 4 last night. Matt Vierling was the only person on the team that started there was no pinch hitters. He's the only player that played that was left hitless for the Philadelphia Phillies. He was 0 for 4 with a strikeout. He can't buy one right now. It's tough, and the Phillies could use Kyle Schwarber back in a big way. But hey, they got the win. They mustered 12 hits. They did strike out 9 times, so you're going to want to get that down a little bit. But a win in Cincinnati, and that's a team you should beat. The Phillies played up to expectations. We're happy with that. And we move on to previewing tonight's game, where the Phillies have a chance to win the series against the Cincinnati Reds starting at 6:40 p.m. Love these early 6:40 starts, by the way. If you're Cincinnati and you're going to be a bad baseball team, at least play early in the night so I can get to bed and everyone else can get to bed early. And it was nice. The game finished at like 9:45, 10 o'clock last night. That's wonderful. We'll take that 10 times out of 10. Let's jump into next the preview of the Philadelphia Phillies versus Cincinnati Reds Game 2. Kyle Gibson on the mound and an interesting lineup for your Philadelphia Phillies. I'll talk through exactly what's happening tonight next on Locked On Phillies. Let me tell you about Built Bar. You know what? I think I'm going to have one of these during the Phillies game tonight. The Cookie Dough Chunk Puffs. If you haven't tried Built Bar Puffs yet, you're depriving yourself of one of life's greatest joys. They're protein-infused marshmallows covered with 100% real chocolate. It's great. They have a bunch of different flavors, and their newest one is my favorite one yet. I'm a big cookie dough guy. So the Cookie Dough Chunk Puffs have a light and chewy texture, real cookie dough chunks, and of course, they're covered in 100% real chocolate. That's right up my alley. Cookie dough chunk puffs are only 160 calories, and they have a whopping 15 grams of protein. That's great for you. Plus, collagen protein that Built Bar uses is easily absorbable. Your body can use it easier than all types of proteins. So it's much better for your body. It gets into those muscles quicker, helps you out more. That's great. Like all Built Bars, the new cookie dough chunk puffs are covered in 100% real chocolate, which means they're tasty. They're a great snack. You don't even have to eat them when you're trying to be healthy. Just eat them in general. And they're good for you, but they're a nice snack. So you're going to love them. What I want you to do is head over to Built.com, grab yourself one of the cookie dough chunk puffs or one of your other favorite Built Bar flavors or bars. Go ahead and check it out at Built.com. And when you go to Built.com, use promo code LOCKED15 and get 15% off your order. That's promo code LOCKED15. It's Locked On 15 now. They changed the promo code on me. It's promo code Locked On 15 and get 15% off your order. That's promo code Locked On 15 for 15% off at Built.com. All right, let's jump into the preview of Philadelphia Phillies Cincinnati Reds Game 2 tonight at 6:40 p.m. Kyle Gibson faces off against TJ Zeuch. This guy has 13.5 ERA, a 2 whip in 4 innings pitched so far for the Cincinnati Reds since coming over from the St. Louis Cardinals. He really just he doesn't have anything that you should be too worried about. I'll tell you a little bit more about him. Let me click on his bio here and see what he's got. 53 career innings. He's got 4 regular season innings so far in the 2022 season. I'd imagine all of those other innings are from the last year or two out there in St. Louis. He faced, I told you this on yesterday's episode, but in case you didn't catch it, he's faced the Mets in his only start so far this year, and that was last Wednesday. And the Reds lost 10-2. He only went 4 innings. He gave up 6 hits, 6 runs, 6 earned, 1 home run, 2 walks, and only struck out 4. Now, those 4 strikeouts in 4 innings means he probably has some solid stuff. Righty, 27-year-old, but this is a guy that the Phillies should absolutely dominate. In the pitching comparison, well, Zeuch's 0-1. Kyle Gibson is 7-5. Gibson, a 4.29 ERA as opposed to a 13.5 ERA that I told you. That's wild. A 13-plus ERA. I know it's on only 4 innings, but it shows you how bad he was last time out. Phillies should do the same to him. A 1.18 whip for Kyle Gibson. A 2 whip even that he's facing off against is Zeuch, however you say his name. I feel like I'm starting to say zucchini when I say his name. And the inning count, well, Gibson's thrown 121.2, and the other guy's thrown 4. This is clearly advantage Phillies. And the analytics, the ESPN analytics back that up. 67.1% chance for the Philadelphia Phillies to take home victory tonight. They're minus 190 favorites on the money line, which leaves Cincinnati a 32.9% chance to win it. And I do not think that they will. A great time for the Philadelphia Phillies to absolutely bust out offensively. So this is one of those games that you want to focus on for the Phillies as a crooked number type game. 6, 7, 8 runs in this one would be really encouraging to see, and letting guys just hit the cover off the ball. Something that's not quite encouraging to see. Well, we'll talk through the lineup, and there's another face still missing, and kind of a weird lineup today for this one. Bryson Stott will be leading off, playing shortstop for your Phillies. Rhys Hoskins will be DHing. So he's going to take time in the designated hitter role today, get himself a day off in the field, rest the legs. Alec Boehm will be playing third base, batting third. In the top 3, normal. Derek Hall, batting cleanup, playing first base. It it'll be nice to see him out in the field, get another glimpse of him with the glove. He's only played first base, I believe, one time since being called up. The other times he was designated hitting. So a little bit of power back in the lineup there with his 8 home runs so far on the season. Nice. Righty-lefty matchup for Derek Hall. Advantage, Hall. Nick Castellanos batting 5th, playing right. Nothing out of the ordinary there. Gene Segura batting 6th, playing 2nd. Okay, cool. All of that is fine. Then you got Brandon Marsh in center, your everyday center fielder. That's normal as well. The bottom 2, though. Garrett Stubbs catching. JT gets a day off. So you're going with your backup catcher to catch Kyle Gibson, try and rest JT's legs before you have a big series with the New York Mets. I get that. You have an off day Thursday, so this is basically 2 off days in 3 days for JT, who gets the day off. It's kind of the same for Rhys Hoskins' legs, even though he's hitting. So I kind of understand why you're doing that. And Stubbs has been good in his opportunities. He's a lefty bat. He's facing a young righty pitcher. This is actually a really good time to get Garrett Stubbs an opportunity, if I do say so myself. I don't hate at all what Rob Thomson is trying to do here. The only issue is with the offense struggling. I would like to see JT continue to hit to try and get more bats and get more in the swing of things. If they have a big game at the dish, sometimes that could mean that, like, well, everybody sees easier pitching, and it could be a confidence booster for everyone who plays. But JT is a professional. He's a veteran. He'll be fine. And this is a good time to get Stubbs some time and get JT a rest. So I don't hate that at all. And Matt Vierling is playing left field. So what that means is Kyle Schwarber, your normal left fielder, is still unable to start. I was a little bit worried that this would be the case. I said I felt like he could come back and start today against a young right-handed pitcher and play the field or maybe even DH. Nope, he hasn't. So the calf strain that he suffered in that series with the Miami Marlins still has him out for the time being. Still available to pinch hit, as far as I know, with Rob Thomson and what he's told us in his pregame media availability. But I'd imagine that with the off day coming up Thursday, with a day game tomorrow, with a lot of time off, that Kyle Schwarber will not play today and will not play tomorrow. And we will see Kyle Schwarber again against the New York Mets. I haven't really been panicking with the Kyle Schwarber injury, and I'm still not going to, even though I slightly expected him to be back today in the lineup. I'll tell you when the panic zone is, though. If the Phillies line up against the Mets for Game 1 at Citizens Bank Park and Kyle Schwarber's not playing, yeah, we have an issue we need to discuss. That would be about a full week. No, it would be exactly a full week of him missing when we were told he was day-to-day. At that point, you probably could have put him on the injured list and got somebody else up here. But hopefully it doesn't come to that, and he'll be ready to go for the first game of the series with the New York Mets. So still monitoring the Kyle Schwarber injury and when he will come back. Here's how Cincinnati lines up. Jake Fraley, designated hits. Jonathan India back in the lineup after a scary situation in the Field of Dreams game where he almost lost his calf muscle. Wild thing there about after getting hit by a pitch. Farmer, Votto, Almora, Aquino, Friedel, Barrero, and Papierski are the ways that lineup rounds out. 247, 243, 268, 208, 227, 184, 200, 200, 136. Those are the batting averages. And when you see that stretch down at the bottom from 6, 7, 8, and 9, 184, 200, 200, 136 as your batting averages, yeah, Gibson should dominate the bottom of this order. He shouldn't really have too much trouble against the top. I imagine Joey Votto is going to have a better night than what he did last night, where he got 4 outs on 4 pitches. That was wild, but this should be a game the Phillies win, and hopefully we're talking about another Phillies win tomorrow with an opportunity to sweep and build some momentum going into a big series with the Mets. That's our preview of tonight's ball game, and coming up next, I'm going to just talk a little bit about the theory behind what I was saying earlier, and that Noah Syndergaard having low pitch counts in every inning, sometimes that's not always a great indicator of how a pitcher is throwing. Like maybe that's not a good thing. And I raised some eyebrows when I said that on the radio this morning on the John Kincaid Show. I'll explain here so you can just kind of hear out my philosophy. I can take you behind the curtain of how I think about baseball a little more. I'll tell you about that coming up as we wrap up Lock on Phillies. Let me tell you about my friends at BetOnline. No, BetOnline.net is the fastest and easiest way to check in on all your betting needs. You can find all your favorite sports and events at the #1 online source for odds, lines, and games. Find reviews and news of every league, including Major League Baseball, the NFL, the NBA, the NHL, combat sports, esports, and even golf. The bet I'd be looking at today, not only the Phillies money line, the Phillies against the spread, and the Phillies over total in runs. Take a look at all of those because this is going to be a bust out game for your Philadelphia Phillies. Check it all out at BetOnline as they continue to be the top online resource for all of your sports wagering information. From live in-game betting, scores, and podcasts, they have you covered. So head to BetOnline today or use your mobile device to learn more about the action happening today. BetOnline, it's where the game starts. All right, so let me just tell you a little bit about my theory behind baseball. So there was some great innings as far as efficiency by Noah Syndergaard last night. I'm not saying efficiency is a bad thing, but someone brought up on the radio about how, he had only 77 pitches going into the 8th inning or going into whatever it was. When he was finished, he was a low pitch count. And I said, I don't necessarily consider that a great thing all the time for a pitcher to have a low pitch count. And that might sound crazy. Here's what I mean. Now, if you're facing a team like the New York Mets or the New York Yankees or the Atlanta Braves or the Houston Astros or the Dodgers or one of the great teams in baseball, low pitch count is low pitch count. It's good. You're getting outs. You're working through tough hitters. That's fine. That's always a good thing. When you're facing a team like the Cincinnati Reds, who are not a good baseball team, not competitive, way below 500, shouldn't be on the same field as you, here's how a low pitch count can potentially mean bad things. Like Noah Syndergaard had 4 innings, I think, last night where he was sub 10 pitches. You know what that means? He's given up contact. And you got to compare that. See, this is a 2-part thing. You have to have the low pitch count, and you also have to use your eyes and trust your eyes to tell you what type of contact the pitcher is giving up. Syndergaard's been giving up a lot of hard contact, a lot of deep fly balls, a lot of hard line drives, a lot of hard hit balls that players are making good plays on. Edmundo Sosa had a couple of great plays. Bryson Stott had a good one. This was a game where the defense really flashed for the Philadelphia Phillies. Gene Segura had a good one as well in this one where he made a nice diving play up the middle on a line drive. But these are hard hit balls. When you have a low pitch count consistently, when you only have like 70-some pitches in the 8th inning, what that means to me is you're pitching to a lot of contact. And a guy like Syndergaard against a lineup like the Cincinnati Reds should be having more swings and misses. Now, the result's good, but you're flirting with disaster when you pitch in that style, when you just attack hitters over and over and over again. And it works against bad teams like the Reds. It will not work against the New York Mets. It will not work against other playoff opponents like the Cardinals, the Padres, the Braves, the Dodgers, whoever you see in the National League playoffs. And I want Noah Syndergaard to be playoff ready. I think that he's a beneficial pitcher to have on this roster when he's at his best, and he hasn't been at his best yet this year. I haven't seen his best since he's been with the Phillies, and I get he's working back with injury. But when I see a lot of low pitch count innings, that to me means a lot of contact, very few strikeouts, very few swings and misses. And the point of the pitcher is to get you to swing and miss first. It's swing and miss first, weak contact second. And it's not always in that order. Sometimes it changes. Sometimes you are pitching to contact, depending on the lineup, depending on the type of pitcher you are, depending on if you're in a double play situation or what's going on. But you got to have a healthy balance of those two. And when I see efficient innings, in the back of my mind, it's okay, well, he must be pitching to a lot of contact. Is he trying to? Is he giving up hard contact or these soft rollovers to third base? And last night, it was a lot of hard contact again for Noah Syndergaard. That's why I say, yeah, the low pitch count, well, it means he's not producing a lot of swings and misses, which means he's not being as sharp as he could be. It also means he doesn't seem to be painting the corners. You're going to get a lot of takes on the corners with in-between pitches that good pitchers can locate. You think about how many times you see Zach Wheeler spot like the bottom outside corner, or how many times you see Aaron Nola throw that nasty front door two-seamer that runs back that has guys leaning out of the way as a left-handed batter. Those are the pitches that Noah Syndergaard just hasn't shown this year. And he doesn't have to show those exact pitches, but you get what I'm saying. So And just keep that in the back of your mind when you watch a baseball game. If you see something on a broadcast where it's like, wow, he's thrown below 10 pitches in each of the last 3 innings, ask yourself what type of contact he's giving up on those pitches. Because, yeah, it's working out for the pitcher at the time, but is it requiring diving plays by the infield? Is it requiring line drives to be hit right at somebody? Is it requiring deep fly balls? Because all it takes is a degree of difference, a shift in the wind, a guy playing out of position due to the shift, and you have a chance to have a blow up inning with all that contact being given up. So it's not just in a vacuum a bad thing to have efficient innings. What I'm saying is last night it felt like it was more the product of him not locating where he needed to and getting lucky than it was him actually pitching efficiently. So that's my philosophy behind it. You might think I'm crazy, but that's how I view the game. So as someone who pitched the collegiate level, the semi-professional level, I'm clearly I'm not Noah Syndergaard. I've never been close to a major league baseball player in any stretch of the imagination, but that's part of how I view pitching as well personally. And you can disagree. Just want to talk you through my thought process there. Hopefully we don't have to worry about any of that with Kyle Gibson tonight because he's just so dominant we don't even care. And the game at 6:40, well, it's time for me to go get ready for that one. So this is all the time I've had for you for today's Locked On Phillies, a day game tomorrow that we'll go ahead and we'll recap on tomorrow's episode, and we'll break that all down. But one more thing, I want to thank you for making Locked On Phillies your first listen every day. Now make your second listen Locked On MLB. They just went over 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. So congrats to Locked On MLB and Paul Francis Sully. They're available on YouTube. They're available wherever you get your podcasts. They're covering the entirety of Major League Baseball news. So a great show. Go check that out. And they finally broke the 1,000 subscribers mark, which is great for them. So congratulations to Locked On MLB, and thank you to all of you who helped them out. Now, please continue to help me out because I'm still trying to make it to that milestone there. So rate, review, subscribe, follow on Twitter, do all that good stuff. I really appreciate it. And I appreciate you joining me on today's Locked On Phillies. I will talk to you all tomorrow.